Hello, and welcome to the Creator Circle. I am your host, Lucy, and thank you so much for joining us for this being our first episode. I'm very excited. Being that it is our first episode, it's just going to be me this week. We'll jump in with our first guest next week, but I wanted to take the first episode, this first opportunity, to really dive deeper into the show, what it was inspired by, and what to expect in the upcoming season. And then also give you a little bit more about myself just so that you understand who I am and where I'm coming from. And so without further ado, let's jump in. So what is the Creator Circle? It's a very valid question. Thank you for asking. Essentially, the Creator Circle stems from this idea that I have about creativity. And it starts with right brain versus left brain. Whether you believe in that concept or not, I know a number of people have said that it's not really accurate. That's fine. But essentially, the right brain versus left brain idea is that there are people, your right brain thinkers, who are more inclined by their emotional side. This is like creativity, art, music, writing, etc. And then there are those on the left side who are more linear thinkers. They're more inclined by math and science and things of that nature. And so, again, whether or not that's your right brain or your left brain, I do think that there is validity in the idea that there are those of us who are more inclined by creativity, and then those who, again, are more math and science. And so, my idea, and again, this is just my idea, is that when you're utilizing your creative side, when you're creating something and you're really impassioned and inspired, that is the closest we get to your soul speaking through you. And what does that mean? Essentially, when you're creating and you're creating art, or you're creating really anything that you put on display for the rest of the world, you're putting a little bit of yourself into it. And it's a very vulnerable task. No matter what kind of creativity you're participating in, no matter what you create, you're putting a piece of yourself out on the world for display, and it's very vulnerable. It's your most inner self. It's what you see through your own eyes. And again, it's on display for the rest of the world to like, to dislike, to critique, to tear apart, whatever they may end up doing. And so that is your soul. And with each piece, you put a piece of yourself out there. And I think that that is a really important part of creativity. And that's often overlooked, this idea that it's literally a piece of you. And so I want to build on that. I want to take the opportunity to learn more about the individuals through this process. And so back to this idea that art and creativity is putting a piece of yourself on display, I think that each individual, depending upon whatever life that they've had thus far, their upbringing, etc., is putting their eyes to a situation and giving us insight into their perspective of the world, which I think is so interesting. Even if we have the same prescription, your and my eyes will never see the world in the same way. And so when we take a deeper look at what somebody creates, how they create it, the means through which they create, we learn so much more about the individual, and then also what they see going on in the world around them. And so many of us really like to take and look and enjoy art, but do we ever take the time to really understand the deeper context, to read the little plaque next to the painting that tells us who created it, when, and why? I don't think we do. And so I want to take this opportunity to really dive deep with individuals who create. I want to learn their process, what inspires them, how their perspective is seen through their art, how it's influenced their art and what they create. And so I think that that's a really interesting and valuable opportunity to learn more about one another, and through it, learn more about each other's art and how we create. I hope that through hearing each other talk about what inspires and impassions us, that we're, likewise inspired and impassioned to create in our own ways. Because again, while creating is very vulnerable, it's your soul speaking. It's literally the internal best part of yourself. And I think that through creativity, we see the better parts of ourselves come out. And I think that's really valuable as well. The creator circle is not called the artist circle for a reason, and I don't want to limit ourselves by the traditional definition of an artist. Yes, I'm using air quotes. I picked the word creators because I don't feel that I fit the traditional mold of an artist, and so then I would have been left out. But creators to me is any and everybody who can take nothing and turn it into something. That sees a pile of wood on the side of the road and an idea just pops up in their head, and they pick it up and they go spiraling down this process of creating something out of this nothingness that somebody else threw away. And I think that that is so very cool that so many of us are able to do that. And so I don't want to limit ourselves to this traditional idea of you must paint or you must draw or you must be this artist in this way that we've known for so many years. A creator, again, is any and everybody who takes nothing to something. And I want to span the spectrum of all of the possibilities out there and talk to so many different people, because I think that each and every one of them has something really cool that we can learn from. And so another point to this is that we're talking to local and unknown individuals. And you may be wondering why. First of all, I think it's really important that we invest in each other, that we give each other the opportunity to grow. And I really value that. And so I want to provide that opportunity for other individuals. But also, in today's world, there's been rapid technological innovation, as I'm sure you're aware. And we are literally connected to people across the world in a matter of seconds, less than that, actually. And it's something that, was never before imaginable, something that is still relatively new in the history of time, but it is this growing scale and this interconnectedness across worlds, literally, has given so many people a voice. And I'm talking about, your favorite musicians, the big actors and artists that you follow, authors, whatever, whoever it may be. These people, their voices are heard across worlds, across oceans, as a result of technological innovation. And that's a wonderful thing, and I'm, grateful to it. However, I think that those people, they are heard. Their voice has been heard, and it will continue to be heard. However, there's this unlocked greater potential in the world of these individuals whose platform, whose voice just hasn't been heard so far as past their neighborhood. And that's why I want to talk to them. That's why I want us to talk to them together and to share their opinion, their insight into this creativity and art on a deeper and broader scale, so that the rest of the world can hear what they have to say too, so that we can all learn from what they're doing in their process and what inspires them. So that is a little bit more about the show and a high-level overview of what really inspired it, what I hope to get out of it, what I hope you get out of it. And I am just really excited to be on this journey and to see what comes from it. I'm excited to be able to learn from and talk to other individuals who are super inspired and just love to create, and see what that means to them and what perspective they can bring to the situation that I have in creativity and my opinion on how to go about it and things like that. I think it's a really, really interesting and fun conversation that we're going to have, and I'm just really excited to be on this ride. But a little bit more about me. I mentioned before that my name is Lucy, and I am part of the reason that it's not called Artist Circle. I don't think that I fit the artist mold. And so I'm a self-proclaimed creative in that, again, I'm not a traditional artist. I'm not good at painting. I'm not good at drawing. But I really love creativity and I love to be inspired and I love to create. But a lot of what I create is with my hands. I'm obsessed with papercraft, and if you aren't sure what that is, I love to scrapbook and collage. And a lot of what really draws me to papercraft and what I really enjoy about it is that you're taking all of these ideas, these separate individual ideas. So you've got colors and stickers and photos and all of this different items that didn't come together and don't go together in the regular space. And you're putting them together. And it's kind of like a puzzle, but the pieces don't really fit. You have to build it yourself as you go. And how you place things and what you choose to place where changes the story that you're telling completely. And I think that that's super fun. And it's a really fulfilling process for me where I can see something come to fruition, see an idea blossom in the making as I'm going. And that's what I really enjoy about it the most. I think that creativity has been such an integral part of my life since the very beginning. It's been a very solid foundation as a result of the fact that I've always been surrounded by so many really talented creators. My dad is a musician, my mom is an artist and a chef, my grandmother the same, and the list goes on and on. And so creativity, art, and exploration, that has always been a part of my life, and it's always been something that has driven me further than anything else. It's always been the biggest flame in my heart, and I've always wanted to pursue it more. So I'm very excited for this opportunity to be able to explore it deeper and to be able to share everything that I learn and explore with the rest of you guys so that you're able to be likewise inspired and impassioned in what you create as well. So again, thank you so much for joining us for episode 1. Stay tuned for next week on episode 2, where we'll have our first guest. You'll get to, for the first time, see a little bit more about the format of the show and what kind of questions we're going to be asking, what kind of conversation we're going to be getting into. I do want to do a call to all creators that if you know someone or you are someone yourself who creates, again, any kind of creator, no matter what medium you're working in, even if you're multidisciplinary, I want to talk to you. I want to hear your side. And so if that's you, your friends, your family, whoever it is, send them our way. We want to talk. And yeah, thank you guys again so much for joining us. Stick around next week. Remember that episodes are released weekly on Wednesdays. There's going to be an audio version anywhere that you like to stream podcasts, and then, of course, a video version on YouTube. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you next Wednesday.